And this is Mr. Feeney from the Hendricken Sports Network. And I'm here today with one of the people, or I should say one of the birds, that we often take for granted here at Bishop Hendricken. There are a lot of good things that happen at this school, we all know that. But the hawk is always there. So the hawk was gracious enough to sit down and spend some time with us today so that we can get to know the hawk. Because do we really know the hawk? I'm not really. They say that you don't know Jack sometimes. Well, in this case, you just don't know Hawk until you've spoken with the hawk. So, Hawk, thanks for coming by. I appreciate it.
No problem, John. Good to see you.
Yeah. This is truly a treat for the kids here at Bishop Hendricken. And I just have some questions here for you. It'd be great if you could answer them.
I'd be glad.
And the first one I have to start with is, how long have you been a hawk?
Well, funny story actually. Not full hawk. I'm actually 3/5 hawk, 30% bald eagle, and then 10% carrier pigeon. But we don't like to talk about that.
No, you don't like to talk about that part of your family?
Carrier pigeon's a little. I try to be a badass bird as I can.
Sure. So you've decided to live your life as a hawk.
As 100% hawk, I like to consider myself.
Now, was it like your great grandfather or something who was a carrier pigeon?
It actually started back in my ancestry's days, when my family was all carrier pigeons. Then we mixed one time.
Ooh, that's painful.
Yeah, that was bad. It's
Yeah.
my mom's side. We don't like to talk about that.
Yeah. So you guys don't have any family gatherings or anything?
No. We don't associate with the pigeons. We don't talk about the pigeons.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, you must eat them from time to time.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I'll eat anything I can get my hands on.
Sure.
I prefer ram though.
Well, I've heard that about you. Now, how often do you get to dine on ram?
About 10 times a year, as many state championships as we win. I like to feast on ram as much as I can.
Sure. And it doesn't get stuck in your beak or anything?
It does, but the tenderness of the meat is it's too good.
Yeah.
I'm willing to use a toothpick if I have to finish me off some nice ram.
Sure. And so having a ram for you is like having a good filet mignon.
It's like Thanksgiving dinner for people.
10 times a year.
10 times a year, yes.
Sure.
Maybe how you guys think about different holidays you get to eat? Well, ram is my holiday.
Sure. That's really now. See, there's something that I think a lot of the kids here at the school may have assumed that, but they certainly wouldn't have known that for a fact.
No.
You know, so that's why this is very informative. What made you decide to become a mascot?
Well, one day I was sitting on my back porch, hanging out with my hawk friends, and I looked up in the tree and I saw it. Once I saw it, I knew I wanted to become a mascot, and it was squirrels. Right then and there.
So the squirrels that made you decide to become a mascot.
Yes.
I'm not sure I see the connection there. Could you maybe elaborate?
Well, I saw the squirrels and I thought, you know what? They look like they're having fun. I want to be having some fun. I want to be out there supporting my hawks. Like the squirrels work together to gather their nuts.
Sure.
I want to gang my fellow hawks together, gather enough nuts to defeat the hawks.
Sure.
To defeat the rams.
So you saw the squirrels there with their hands all over the nuts, and that inspired you.
Well, they like to use their mouths a lot. That's why I chose hawk. I got a nice beak.
Sure.
I like to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's again really good information. Perhaps the next time you're at one of our athletic events, and we do have two big ones coming up, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the first round of the state playoffs against LaSalle. That will, and ironically enough, the hawk here has discussed dining on ram, and that'll be at at CCRI in Warwick tomorrow night. And we also have senior night for the hockey team this coming Friday night, a game that will be broadcast live right here on the network. I assume you'll be watching that game.
Oh, of course. I will not only be watching, I'll be there, and I will be the loudest, most cheerful fan there.
Yeah, and
I see all you fellow Hawks at those games, or I'll be disappointed in you.
Amen, brother.
You don't want the Hawk disappointed in you.
All right, now let me ask you a question. What drew you to Bishop Hendricken?
Well, before I was a Hawk, I was actually a world champion ping pong player, and I heard of this Oscar who could beat anybody.
Okay.
So I made it my lifelong goal to become world champion ping pong player and beat Oscar. So I feel Oscar is really the main reason.
So you're indebted to Oscar
I
to
am.
to a certain
For a
extent.
lifetime.
Well, I think we're all indebted to Oscar
does so
in
much.
different ways. Now, you say you were a world champion ping pong player.
Yes.
Now, did you happen to at any point ever interact with Forrest Gump?
I've met him on occasion, but no more than once or twice. Good
Okay.
guy. Good guy.
Yeah, sure. Do you use his paddle, the one that he advertised?
I actually have my own paddle. I've been using it since I was a little carrier pigeon, but again, we don't
like to talk about that yet. No, you don't have to mention it. We understand. Okay. Of all the sports that you cheer for here at Bishop Hendricken, what would you say is your favorite?
You know, I enjoy the major ones: football, basketball, hockey,
Sure.
lacrosse. But I really enjoy spending hours every day on the 200-wing couches, just looking at the extra smooth floor shine. It really amazes me how wonderfully clear, and with all these students running around it every day, they maintain it at such a high level. Again, I give it thanks to Oscar for it.
Sure, and it's funny you mentioned that. It kind of, a lot of what you discuss here comes together because we actually had a student vomit all over the second floor yesterday, and Oscar was right there with his mop. It was pretty impressive, I have to say. So you're not really a fan of any one particular sport. You love them all equally,
Yes.
but you're truly drawn to the quality of the floor finish here at Bishop Hendricken.
Yes. I think that's my number one favorite thing about Hendricken as a school is the quality of their floors.
Yeah. You know what I really resent? I resent people at the end of the summers when we have the gyms refinished, and people, even though it says don't walk on the floors, people walk on it anyway.
That's why I choose to fly every time I go over the gym.
See, you're just
I don't mess with the floor shine.
yeah. Who would? All right.
Only a Ram would do that.
Now, true. Now, other than Oscar, which goes without saying, are there any personnel in the building after whom you try to model yourself?
I like to model myself after my great grandfather, the original Hawk mascot. But
Okay, so did he work here as well?
oh, he did.
Okay.
He was the best. They say my father, he skipped a generation. He wasn't here, but I'm back to bring the family name back.
Sure.
So I like to model myself after him or Mr. Brennan. I
Okay.
think he's a quality one Hawk.
Sure.
I try to pride myself in being a quality one
Right.
Hawk.
All Hawks are quality one. We
They
know
are.
that.
And my favorite part is I like to bring in Chinese food for lunch, and I watch all the students interact and see who's the best model and who I can pride myself in.
So not only do you model yourself on your grandfather, who was, or was it your great grandfather? No, your grandfather.
Just my grandfather.
Right, who was the first Hawk mascot here. But you also model yourself after Mr. Brennan and some of the kids who order Chinese food.
These students themselves. Yes.
Sure.
Always look for the Chinese food.
Yeah, because the kids,
those
yeah.
are the good ones.
Yeah, the kids who order Chinese food are usually a cut above.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I found
They
that
thought
myself.
about their lunch the day before. They were like,
Yeah, they planned it
I don't want a ham and cheese sandwich with mustard.
No.
That's too plain. I'm gonna be original. I'm
Yeah.
gonna order Chinese food.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. I like that thinking. Now, you commented on the floor finish.
Yes.
What part of the building do you find the most compelling?
This is a tough one. I love the gyms. I love playing basketball with my friends, but I must say the couches in the 200 wing. I consider that my perch of types,
Okay.
or hang out on the daily,
Okay.
courtesy of Bob's Furniture Warehouse.
Sure. Now, do you have a nest outside anywhere?
I like to move my nest from time to time. I don't like to stay in one place because then the enemies can come haunt you down. You don't want any
That's
type of crusaders or rams, of course. But I'm up in a tree. See, the rams are very limited in what they can do.
sure.
While hawks, we can sprawl across the whole state, defeating one school at a
Right.
time.
All the Rams can really do is hammer each other in the head.
They got nothing.
Yeah, that I've found that myself. It's interesting. It's interesting. So the second floor couches, and I like that tactical thinking, moving the nest from one place to another. I tell you, you're an impressive individual. I have to say.
One of my spots I like to put my nest is the tree in the library that no one really pays attention to. I consider that my tree, my kingdom.
Yeah, and who's gonna mess with you?
No.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, certainly not I. Now, What do you think of the school color, the green and gold with the, the white trim, maybe occasionally a black edging? What do you think of the school colors?
Well, I'm a big fan of the school colors. My middle school was purple and gold. I was never a big fan of those colors. I didn't get them. I didn't understand
All right.
what draws me to purple and gold. But now green and gold. Green and gold is where it's at.
Now you're talking.
The color of champions. I grew up. I wake up in the morning and I think, who has the world's greatest dad? And I think, green and gold.
Who has the world's greatest dad? And then you say green and gold.
Yes.
I'm not sure I see the connection, but there's something about it that makes sense.
Up here, it all makes sense.
Yeah, no, I have of that I have no doubt. Okay, have there been any students who've come through Bishop Hendricken who have truly impressed you as young men?
This is a tough one.
I mean, there's a lot of them. I understand.
Oh, of course. All Hawks are quality ones.
Absolutely. Well, that goes without saying.
But
in that context,
yes, I would look back to one Will Blackman, who really showed me how to become a quality one Hawk. He was the one eye.
Okay.
When I first came here, I modeled myself after him. I was in the NFL. We all wish him thankfully.
Sure.
The Rams have no.
And he's actually
in the NFL.
and Will just signed with the Seattle Seahawks.
He was
So he's a Hawk again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once a Hawk, always a Hawk.
That's what I say.
Can't forget that. Drinking out of cups.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Now, what about Jimmy Iacocca? What can you tell me about Jimmy Iacocca? Has he impressed you? Has he not impressed you? Is he worthy of being a Hendricken Hawk?
He's definitely worthy of being a Hendricken Hawk. He's a unique Hawk, that's for sure. He reminds me of a Sesame Street character with his antics but if anybody's going to get rowdy at a game, it's going to be Jimmy Iacocca. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think Iacocca is, in a certain sense, he's kind of the soul of the
Hawk Nation.
Yeah, very well said, of Hawk Nation. Yeah, he deserves a lot of credit for that. Yeah. Just a couple more questions for you.
Of course.
Have there ever been any kids that you've truly disliked?
Ooh. We had one student my freshman year who left us to become a Ram.
Oh.
That really upset me. I don't like to mention his name. It's the name we shall not mention.
Right, yeah.
He's actually a great grandson of Lord Baltimore.
Well, that makes sense. He was probably just drawn to the
Went
evil.
Straight to the dark side.
Sure. So that's the only one you can think of that you ever had any kind of a distaste for.
Yes. Yeah. All Hawks are quality ones.
And he's no longer. He probably really ever wasn't really ever a Hawk to begin with. He never had.
He's never quality one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And now he's not even quality two. He's towards the bottom of the list.
Sure. All right. Well, that's good. And last but not least, any future plans?
My future plans are to represent Hendricken as best I can for the rest of my life. I like to think of myself as a world-renowned Hawk.
Oh, there's no question.
I've tried to spread the Hendricken word in my elder years, not only throughout the state of Rhode Island, but throughout the world, and make sure people protect themselves from thumbtacks.
Well, they should protect themselves from thumbtacks.
It's the number one cause of paper cuts now.
And allow me to end this interview. Okay, well, this is Mr. Feeney for the Hendricken Sports Network. We thank the Hawk for once again being with us. It was perhaps the only opportunity we'll ever have to get to know the Hawk on a personal level. And for now, this is Mr. Feeney signing off with my buddy the Hawk. All Hawks, a quality one.